all location, location, location is what we used to say, traveling the world. But now it's all about you, and how you brand yourself, because you are now known by your IPC code. We're all identified, and it's all coming about. And your Social Security number is what they're going to use. Even if you go into, they keep up with your bank. You can't get away from it. Now, a lot of these people that you're going to be talking with, you need to know they're trying to get out of the normal banking system with the world banking, and a lot of people don't like that because they don't want to. So because it's not backed by gold. And I was talking with a lot of these Bitcoin people, and well, all of them, the blockchain people. You say blockchain people, and then this is the currency. Everybody has to have a wallet, right? And in the wallet, then, well, like when you go to the Philippines, you have a different name. So you've got to learn how to walk the walk and talk the talk, which is the new way we communicate. So look at my company, because I am a trainer now, American Communications Online. I help people get into the system, brand themselves, decide what they want to do. Do they want to do civil, or do they want to work for the government? There's only two ways. You're either working for God or yourself. And, the government thinks you're working for yourself, but God thinks you're working for him or her. But it's either God or self, and it doesn't matter which one it is. It can be both. So what I'm trying to do is like the old thing of have a business and then have a charity, because that's highly recommended. Whether you give a tithing, a tenth, it's the old culture in every world religion or whatever, is to tithe back. And even the farmers used to leave at least a percentage for the poor people that couldn't afford to feed all their kids. They'd leave corn or whatever. And I learned that in Kentucky. So a lot of these lessons I've learned about how to survive in reality is the fact that I've experienced it. But right now you're at a very important place. So first of all, you got to get your brand. You're an entrepreneur. You own yourself. You own your name. You own your brand. Get your brand. Get your logo. Get your company. Am I going to be an entrepreneur, a LLC? Am I going to have partners? But if you're going to be a sole owner, that's fine. They keep making me be a sole owner because I've had so many corporations and enterprises and all that. But I do have Thurman Morris Associates on LinkedIn. Janet is my only associate because she's my friend. Now, Suzanne is my associate on Psychic Network. But you can be my associate if you want and learn. I have an Amazon account, but right now they're only charging me $1 a month. But anyway, I sell my books.
What are they charging you for?
I don't know. I have no clue. I guess it's for my data AWS number or something. I'll let you look at it. Janet's more administratively inclined. She does a lot of she's a detailed orient. She's the dot the I and cross the T's. I don't care. I was always the promoter. When you have people with you, there's the analyst, the promoter, the supporters, and you think about the way that everything's set up with you. And so Janet's always been like, I don't know, helping me. I don't know what I am to Janet. I think I'm her entertainment person.
What are you? What are you? What are you? What are we? What are any of us?
I don't know. Somebody's been hanging. I've had people stop listening to us and leave me because I wasn't doing their readings. I got all tied up with New York because you're right where I love to hear people, and you're a woman, and I love to help women and get you going. But you let me know if there's anything I can do for you. I know you just called me in for a reading. But when you're making all these choices, you need to have your own brand on them. So let me give you a little clue about selling anything. If you can get them, and I learned this years and years ago, to make it for you and put your name on there, there's a lot of people that do that, and I didn't know that. I went out and made everything myself. I went out and got the sewers. I went out and got the dies for the machine to cut things, my purses, all my pieces. I had everything you can imagine: shoes, handbags, outerwear, betterwear. I had everything. Branding. I can personally sew and make anything you want on the planet. It has to do with fashion, the fashion industry. And I crossed over into the stationery industry, but I learned really, really, really quick. But what I failed to realize was everything was knocking me off in the world. And just when I'd be out putting all my brand new things with my name and my brand on it all over in all the big cities, New York, L.A., Dallas, and I went to Las Vegas and saw my stuff getting off at the airport and the stores, and it was so pretty, and it was me, and it was all my stuff, and I was like in heaven. And I go to the convention, and I see all the people sitting around to watch my people come out in my models, and they're going, I'm too sexy for my too sexy. Remember that song? Too sexy. And yeah, that song. Yeah, it was so fun. But they were playing that music, and the people were coming out, and I was watching these people from in Las Vegas that flew in from all these countries, especially North Korea or South Korea, maybe, I don't know. But they were with their sketch, and they were just taking everything off of the runway and knocking it off. Yeah, they had their sketch artist right there. They didn't have computers then.
Oh, right.
So
right.
they were just and so they went off and did it. So much for branding and copyrights and them made in the USA. And then this USA started shutting down all the sewing companies anyway. I was trying to go around and get them in North Carolina and Kentucky, and they'd come. I'd go there, and I'd look up a factory and go over there and show up and meet with them, and they were, I'm sorry, we're shutting down. And I'd watch 15 machines going out the back door. I'm like, are you kidding me? Just when I'm gearing up to help the world with who I am and what I can do, and you guys are shutting America down? Are you kidding me? And I finally gave up and started driving around the country and helping Microsoft and U.S. Treasury pulled big trucks around. So I pulled millions of dollars and millions of Microsoft computers around and made them pay me while I learned how they were shutting down all the industries. And I was going to all the distribution houses, so I learned how all that worked in the country. So there's a big lesson for you to learn in how it all works. But believe me, you'll never be at the top, because every time you think you're there, there's 10 jillion people doing the same thing you're doing. But the whole thing is we're in a race. So I want you to look at that amazing race before COVID and see how these people make it. And they try like 9 or 10 times to get on there, you know, and they're with their wife or their uncle or their brother. And certain people finally get chosen. And I love TV because it gives you an idea of how the world's working. And even Tony Robbins and the Psi Seminars people, in one of the levels, it was $5,000 to get in, and I had a friend of mine pay it for me. I wasn't going to do it. I didn't have the $5,000. I never had money. I always had money on paper. I was a millionaire on paper, you know. But I never took money, so out of the hand. But you right now are the perfect lady to represent a whole bunch of people out there that are listening that are just like you right now. So you are the archetype for our radio show. So you've done the world a good service because we're all equal. But yeah, we're going to we're using blockchain. We're trying to get it around the world. The other parts of the world are so far ahead of us. And it's just like China went over and said, oh, we'll build you roads. We'll put you in super trains. Now they own all the data. Like they said, oh, we'll help you with the Internet. We'll come over there and do all. So now they get all the intel, right? Over in Africa. You know what I'm saying? They come in. And it used to be they'd come in and so, oh, yeah, cut down all your trees and raise cows for us and we'll pay you, right? And then they turn around and take over the country. So everybody has gotten awake, or if they're not, they should be, that this is the game's up. We all know how it works. It's all about trade. It's all about guns and drugs and control and how you do with one country to the next. But now what they're running out of things to offer, so they're going into space, mining the minerals, and they're going to be doing Mars and traveling. So those of us on the planet have to decide what are we going to need down here to survive while everybody's up there joyriding. You know, so you've got how many years right now? But Jeff Bezos is a good man, and right now we're trying to say, why are we letting, you know, Bezos, Musk, Gates, who else up there, you know who I'm talking about, Warren Buffett's world.
Yeah.
You know, and they're making all the money. So we just want our little pieces at the farm on the bottom. So they're going to let some of our people sow again or do something with their hands. So there's going to be a lot of people, and some of the people on Shark Tank are making the most money are the ones helping the people make it right here in America. So pay attention. But remember, we were farming out. Even me, I could farm out to China or all these sweat lodges that we didn't know were because they swore they weren't, which I didn't know because I didn't go over and see. But it was the way you did business back then. I'm sure it hasn't changed. I know that all the people, Trump know this, that, if China can do it cheaper, you do 51% made in the USA. And then I went over and worked import-export in all the safe zones where you bring in the containers. And I got with Jendo Furs and all this, the containers. So they bring in all the products that you're talking about. And then with the products, something comes the drugs and the cocaine and the slaves and all the things they're trading. So what we have to be aware of is we've changed reality. We all know how the game works now. So with you be awesome and figure out your way up the food chain. And it's going to be, of course, we're going to, as far as I know now, they may do away with it all. They may come in and really tell Facebook they got to split up. They may tell, not, probably.
Well, they're talking about breaking it down because it's too concentrated wealth in one person. So they're going to, what do they call that when they break it down? Yeah. So there are.
You can make them all break it down like AT&T did.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, what do you call that? They allow them to conglomerate and then they break it back down again. But another thing that I just got was there's a group that wants to. It's like really weird. It was one of these chats that I was following, and they want China to launch World War III. And I go, what?
They want China to do what?
Getting arrested. Launch World War III. They said, bring it on. Yeah.
Oh, no, they got the Silk Road. They're too smart for that.
Anyway,
they're making too much money. They don't have to go to war. Nobody has to do that.
No, nobody has to. But, why destroy the infrastructure, right? So nobody's going to do that anymore. But there was just
we don't do that.
And there's another.
No, it doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican or Independent or any of that. We don't do that anymore.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about.
We're tired of killing our people. No, the women grew up. We got to vote. The women are saying no more killing our sons, because our daughters either now. But I love the military. I served my time, and I love the training. And they really made me grow up because I didn't know how to take care of myself or my kids or anything. I was starving to death. So they gave me a lot, and they trained me to do a lot, and I really appreciate them seeing my talent and making me what I am today. So I love Uncle Sam because he pays my bills. My daughter says we love Jesus because Jesus pays our bills. So it depends how you look at it, right? Everything comes from God. So that portal. Jesus pays the bills. So it's all filters and how you want to see life. But we're all individuals, but we're working in the global conscious. And that's what we're promoting now with the internet and cyberspace. So we know all the big players. So now we just got to figure out who our tribes are.
What you were saying about China. I want to go back to what you were saying about China.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
35 years ago, we could play victim and say, the decision was made 35 years ago to send everything to China, and because it was cheaper. And then, I don't know. Now they're mad at it.
Well, we were making it in China in the 80s. I know that. Everything was made in China. But remember made in Taiwan? Remember when you used to say made in Taiwan and it was made in China?
But after World War II, it was made in Japan, and then it shifted to Taiwan. And we've always been outsourcing our stuff, so we have the cheap stuff used to be Murphy's, and then it became
well, that's why we're big brothers.
Kmart, and then so we're pissed off about something we intentionally did. No, it's all bullshit. That's what you got.
Well, they want us to play games and stay on the internet, make cars and play games. I've heard that from all these people out there in the world. And I used to hear that as a big CEO going to all these conferences around the world that we don't have anymore. But I'm still hearing it in the internet, going to these, remote viewing, Dubai big meetings for blockchain. So, the big companies are still trying to get on it, but there's room. Now, just make sure you get with the best people you can. It's not what you know as much as who you know. Get with a great tribe and try to get your piece. I heard all these kids are going to get rich quick someday by selling pot, and that didn't happen, because the big companies took over, right? Uh-oh. I got other people.
Maybe they could sell CBD oil.
You better go. Teresa, you better get to the next.
Yeah, I've got 2 more people.
10 minutes. Go get your next.
All right.
Thank you for coming.
All right. Well,
we appreciate you.
Thanks for being a part of our show. You added a lot.
Oh, yeah.
You have no idea. But
Oh.
you did. But just look at our company, American Communications Online, and then I have the
Wait,
Psychic
I
Network
looked it
stuff.
up, but there's